Good afternoon. Time for a little toast of some great water right out of the Spokane Rathdrum Prairie Aquifer. Cheers. Great water. Now, why is taste so important to an electrolyte guy? Why not flavors? Why not just have all kinds of other flavors? We really believe that the taste of these pure, clean salts is critically important to how you manage your health. You could be a 1-cap or a 2-cap person, depending on what salt you like. But let's talk for a minute about just why taste is so important. You actually have to realize that smell and taste travel together. Actually, when you taste, a lot of it is the aroma, but there's also texture and feeling that goes on your tongue. When you crave something, your taste buds actually open up like your eyes do in a dark light so it can find it easier. When you've had enough of it, they actually shut down and pull back. They are actually interacting with the chemistry of life right here in your taste buds. The second part of that is that those taste buds are actually connected to a little brain right in here behind your nose, about the size of your thumb, that actually is almost 100,000 plus years old. It is millions of years old. That time traveler suitcase back in here actually holds 3% of your DNA captive so that it can communicate with your whole body. And its experience spans millennium. It's old, older than you and me and all of our ancestors. It goes back all the way into the animal kingdom. And at that point, you realize that every element, every piece of food, every plant, every animal you've experienced in your biochemical history. And because of that, whether you're in sickness or in health, every one of those patterns has been tracked in your body and there's a record. You call it your genetics, but it's also a living storybook about what your chemistry is doing, what it needs, and what it would like you to be doing. And it pushes that through your taste buds and your sense of smell. Now, a lot of people challenge me on this, say, well, if that's true and I know what I need, why do I always want pizza or chocolate or any number of other things? And I call that the pizza defense against free choice. Look at it this way. Pizza is a very complex food. There's hundreds of parts in it. There's pH, there's savory, there's sweet, there's dairy, there's meat, possibly. There's tomatoes and more pH and more spices. I could go on. And your grandmother might have made that for you when you were like particularly needing a warm comfort food. That's a big, long story. So a pizza is like a paragraph, and a chocolate bar is almost the same. Think of all those Valentines, right? All those desserts at birthdays, that's a storyboard. But let's break it down smaller. That's a paragraph. What about a word? What about broccoli? Just broccoli. That's a word. That's a very simple food. How's that taste compared to a carrot, a celery stick, any other vegetable? Simple, plain, that's a word. And a salt? Well, a salt, a mineral salt like sodium chloride, mined out of the ground. Or baking soda, common in your refrigerator. A salt, or even Epsom salt, that is a letter. The letters make up the words like the foods, and the foods, when they make a paragraph, that's like a pizza. So when you are craving pizza all the time, have it. Watch what happens after about 5 days. You're done. I want something else. It'll happen to everybody that way. Go ahead and try it. What about like potato chips? I love potato chips. Well, take them apart. Salt, potatoes, and oil. Which one are you hungry for? And how do you find out which one you're hungry for? What if you could separate them all out and see what you were really looking for? That's why we talk about tasteability being so important. That's why we make an electrolyte that is pure salts. That's why today I'm going to share with you a little secret on how you can go right into your own kitchen and possibly your bathroom and find 3 salts that you can actually taste with a measuring spoon and some glasses of water. 8 ounces of water, Epsom salts. Good magnesium source, magnesium sulfate. In Germany, bitter salts. Sometimes they're bitter, sometimes they're sweet. But you wouldn't know that unless you took 1/8 of a teaspoon, put it in a glass, stirred it up, let it dissolve in. Slightly sweet today. Pass that around at the dinner table and see who thinks it's bitter. That's interesting. And then do it the next day and see who's changed. That's an interesting one. Same thing with salt. This salt came out of a mine in Germany 300 feet down, warm, beautiful place. They serve a salt. I mix 1/8 of a teaspoon in a glass of water right here. Weird, I can barely taste it. It almost tastes like water. I could really taste the Epsom salts. This, not so much. Okay, what about baking soda? Sodium bicarbonate, everybody's got it. 1/8 of a teaspoon in here. What's it taste like to you? Oh, I can tell the difference. It's got a slightly sweet, slippery kind of flavor and texture compared to regular sodium chloride. Okay, do the experiment, try it. Next week, I'll cover what it means. If it's sweet though, the clue is you probably need it. If it's bitter, not so much. That's it for today. Remember, when you take hydration and you want to do it tastefully, remember that you can add more or less electrolyte into water and taste it to see where your level is and see whether you need to add more water into your life or more electrolytes into your life. That's why we make it naked. Maybe you want it in juice so you can have it with vitamin C. Maybe you want it with milk so you get a little dairy or yogurt or kefir. Maybe you want it with some soup. Your choice. That's why tasteability is important. Try the taste test. Check out the other salts while you're at it. See how they taste. You'll know better what to do after that. All right, see you next week. Thanks again.